Good morning, welcome to a morning review on Thursday the 14th of January. This is Kim Watson speaking for Ezeetrader. So looking at the pound dollar first, and yesterday really we just consolidated with pretty much in the previous day's range. Today at the moment a very slight start relative to some that we've seen recently. We already sort of hit the daily pivot here. Looking for the big picture, what's it really showing us here is possible downside. Looking at the potential for it to break down and run back down towards that S1, those prior lows again maybe. We had a good test of that sort of range, the monthly S2 again yesterday, and it popped back up, but it's since tested that sort of point, so it does look like it may want to explore those ultimate lows there. Now these are 5.5-year lows, so around those, or that area there was 5.5-year lows, so it'll be interesting to see if it does, let's say, break down towards that. There's not a lot of points left there now in terms of trading points. There's only, well, I say 27 pips, so it's enough, but that's certainly on the cards at this juncture. We'll just see what happens after post 8 o'clock, but it looks like it's trying to break it now. If we were to get any sort of bounces, any breaks of these sort of levels here, well, we've got the 50 in a way. It's not been tested. It air kissed it. So there is the chance that we could see any move up to that go through it next time. It's has been tested numerous times prior to that anyway. So maybe that will give us a chance to back to yesterday's highs sort of region if it does break to the upside at some point, but it needs to get back above those 21 moving averages. Okay, so looking weak at the moment. Looking then at the euro dollar. Okay, so euro dollar did put a bounce in yesterday in the end from its bands here, managed to get some traction and pushed back to a degree, but it's now, although it's putting that sort of reasonable candle there, it's looking relatively weak in some respects at the moment. It has tried to make potentially higher lows there. It's a bit of a funny old mess through this US session leading into the Asian session to late afternoon UK session. That all just chops for quite a long period there, managed to eventually push on up again there, back towards the daily pivot. From here, see how it bounces from here. This daily pivot's touched the daily pivot now. If it does get a bounce up, I'd be looking for today's highs, or the Asian session highs, should I say. Maybe that R1 area was just a little bit further, and that may then just suggest we're trying to push out of this the daily channel. Any failure of this daily pivot, and if it rolls over, well, this area is really heading towards yesterday's lows, probably taking out this S1 first. Looking then at the dollar yen, daily perspective, it's pushed up some more, run back into its 4-hourly 50 here again, managed to bounce off that yesterday, tying pretty much with a daily 8. It could push on some more. It's quite extended away from a lot of these moving averages. It's already down to its monthly S2, so it may just want to sort of track back a little bit more here. When you look at the hourly picture, it sort of gives me a picture of these sort of higher lows sort of that we're running in, but then that's been spoiled over throughout the Asian session here as it's broken. Well, at least testing stroke broken, at least some of them there. So there seems to be a bit of demand around this sort of point. Possible resistance, well, we've already hit daily pivot R1. Possible resistance pushing up is yesterday's highs there. If it can break through that area, well, it may, as I say, may just track on at some point back in towards its R1. It's still got an untouched monthly pivot, but we are quite some way away from it, but there's a lot of months to go yet. Okay, Aussie dollar, Aussie jobs came out a bit disappointing for the first time for a while through Asian session, but it's managed to put on a brave face. It's although taking out last week's lows there and heading back towards that sort of 69 area. gave up a lot yesterday afternoon in terms of trading. It sold off quite sharply in the end. It's now it's running into these 21s. It's daily pivot above, so there's a possibility it could yet find some traction and run back up towards that. As often said, the Aussie dollar, there's always the chance of a bit of a sell-off in terms of what we're going there, because we had a signal suggesting we may have got more continuation to the upside at one point. We've just not made it. It's just weakened through the Asian session yesterday, and to me it looks pretty weak off these 21s even. It could just continue to the downside back towards the Asian session lows there. Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar moving on up towards its monthly S2 at this point. Let's just have a quick check of oil. It's hanging around about these lows here at the moment. This is just like a consolidation wedge, which sort of setting up, which may suggest we may even go lower. I thought from the psychological number of around about $30 a barrel, we might have seen a bit more bounce. We may have seen OPEC sort of step in and do something, say something, but it seems to be they may be saying things, but it's just not really going anywhere. It may be just a resolve to the point it's going to sit around $30 for a while. Obviously, there's the politics around the back of it, and they're certainly working their way through, making it very tight for a lot of countries at the moment that rely solely on oil, or massively on oil. Canadian dollar then's pushing up towards, as I say, pushing up. It looks like it's got a good chance of hitting its monthly R2 at this point. Just some consolidation where we're sitting at the moment. Untouched daily pivot below, so there's a possibility that it could just roll back towards that, but a break of these highs would just pop us up back, as I say, towards that S1 and R1 and monthly R2. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. News-wise today, I should mention, we've got for the UK, we've got the interest rate decision, bank votes, and the minutes all out together. So we could see some volatility kicking in around about 12 o'clock. It's not expected they'll do anything in terms of changes, but it'll certainly be in the rhetoric in terms of the minutes themselves. So we could see some volatility, as I say, around about 12. Side of that, that's pretty much it. That's the main data coming out. We've already seen the Australian employment numbers coming out. Looking through the list here, that's all Bank of England stuff. A whole bundle of data comes out now together. We've got the ECB monetary policy meeting accounts coming out 12:30, so maybe a bit of volatility around that. But it's not a lot. It's very transparent, so it's unlikely to have much going on that we won't already have known. And then just normally the normal weekly unemployment claims, which don't do too much, should I say, through the weeks away from the non-farms. Okay, that's it for me. Have a great day. Catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.